Hey YouTube, what's up? On this video, I'm going to talk about one of the asset classes that I hold that's gained 25% just year to date. And about 9% of that was in the last 2 to 3 weeks. I think everybody should have this asset class. Everybody should have a ton of it, in fact. And it's probably something that's not even on your radar. You probably never even thought about it. I'm going to share with you some of the reasons why I personally love this asset class, some of the reasons why I think it's going to continue to go up from here, and it's actually ready to actually kind of go to the moon, frankly. And then I'm going to share with you a little bit about my exit strategy. And so let's jump right into it and share with you this asset class that's gained 25% year to date, 9% in the last 2 to 3 weeks, and is headed for even more growth. My name is Cluff. I'm a financial advisor turned financial coach, financial educator, and I absolutely love helping people manage, protect, and grow their money, turning their income, helping them turn their income into wealth and create what I call is a massive bank account. Now, the asset class that I'm talking about here today is something that's probably not on your radar. It's not on most people's radar. This asset class has been around for thousands of years, and it's actually one of the big asset classes that most economies are built upon. And that asset class is precious metals. Now, there's a lot of different kinds of precious metals. The most popular ones are silver and gold. And today we're going to talk about silver. This is a silver bar and this is a silver coin. This one, when they're in these cases like this, they're called numismatics, which means that they're like more of a potential collector. But I have several coins that are also just in regular, just flaps here like this. I got different kinds of coins. They come in stacks like this as well. In fact, I have a cool silver. I don't know if you've seen one of these. This is called a silverback. It's actually a transactionable silver. It's silver in a different denomination. Now, why should we invest in silver right now? Or why should we put some of our money in silver? There's several reasons why. One of those reasons is the supply and demand. Another reason is it's a hedge against inflation. Another reason is it's got a proven history. As I shared earlier, it's been around for thousands of years. And last but not least, it's totally undervalued right now as an asset class. And I think you're going to see why after I go through this presentation with you here today. So I've actually personally been investing in silver for about 10 years, and I've got quite a bit. I've got a nice stash. And it's grown over those years. And when I was first buying silver, it was about $15-ish an ounce. Today, it's in the neighborhood of $36 an ounce, as we'll see here in a minute as I share some things on some of my screen. But let me just share with you a little bit about this idea of supply and demand. I think you'll understand what I'm getting at with it when I share this with you. So the first thing I want to talk about is that we all know right now that there's a huge push for electric vehicles. There's a huge push for solar. There's a huge push for sustainable energy. Just huge opportunity there for anybody who gets involved in anything like that. And I'm not sure if you know, but silver, the supply of silver is not anywhere near the demand that we're going to have for silver. One of the biggest things that silver, here's an example of mining production up here is 800 in 2024. It was 823, I think, million ounces, and then there was a recycling of silver, which was another 178. So total, just over $1,000. Pardon me, just over 1,000 million ounces that was which was mined. But look at here is the demand. The demand is 1,200 million ounces. So it's a 216 million ounce deficit. So the demand is only going to continue to increase. So why is the demand going to continue to increase? It's because electric vehicles need silver. I don't know if you know this, but your cell phone got silver in it. Every cell phone, every computer chip, silver is the most powerful conductive metal on the planet. And so if you want to have, for example, a lot of the batteries that are coming out for these EV cars, they're moving towards what's called solid state. And that's going to require about 40 or 50 times the current silver that you see in EV vehicles. And so right now it's 20 to 30, maybe 40 ounces of silver per battery. The cell phones and supercomputers, AI, solar panels, they're all about 1 to 2 ounces of silver per panel for solar panels. AI supercomputers, they're using silver as well. And the demand for all this silver is going to continue to increase. We just saw that we're already in a deficit. and it's going to continue to increase. So that's something that you really need to think about, where you're going to invest your money. Now, I shared earlier that traditionally silver has been a hedge against inflation, and that's one thing that a lot of people think about precious metals. It's a great place to hold money as a store of wealth, and that's really true for gold. But I believe that silver is going to make a huge push here shortly. And let me share with you why I believe that. So right now there's a gold to silver ratio, and back hundreds of years ago, even not even that long ago, frankly, the gold to silver ratio was supposed to be around 15, 20 or so silver coins could get you one gold coin or one gold ounce. And so right now it's 100. Well, right now you see it's 92 point, almost 93 ounces of silver to 1 ounce of gold. Well, for years, the standard was 15 to 20. The average actually over the last probably couple hundred years has been between 40 and 70. So if you look at this particular time frame here, let's look at all. You can see since they've been tracking it since the 1990s, so the last 20 years, it's ranged between 80 and the lowest here was 30, 34, 35. So right now it's 90. So what does that mean? That means that we've seen 35 ounces of silver equals 1 ounce of gold. Right now we're seeing 93 ounces of silver is 1 ounce of gold. So if we go back to closer to that 40 to 50 ounces of silver per ounce of gold, and gold continues to go up, we're going to see silver skyrocket. We're going to see silver go to the moon. My personal opinion is to own silver in your actual physical silver. That's my personal opinion. So you can buy silver on the market. You can buy it with SLV. That's the ticker symbol. I recommend that you buy physical silver. You have physical silver in hand. If you can't hold it, you don't own it, in my opinion. All right, so let's take a look at another one of these charts here. So silver prices today compared to what they were back in January, first of the year. So first of the year, silver was $28 an ounce, plus spot, of course, because the people who sell silver got to make their money. Today, it's $36.59 per ounce. That's a 25 minute. That's around 25% increase in value. Now, of course, we see some dips here, but did we not see dips in the stock market in the S&P 500? Here's an example of the S&P. The Dow Jones, literally 43,000 year to date. It went from 42.5 to today, which is 42.9. That's a 400 point increase or a 1% return. That's the Dow. S&P 500 year to date. Let's do the year to date column here. Year to date went from what was it back in? Come on, January. So back in January, it was, if it'll let me, it won't let me do it. So it was just under 6,000, and today's just over 6. So we've had a 163 point jump in 6 months, 2.78% return. So the S&P 500 is a tenth of what silver's been doing. So do you see why silver is a potentially powerful place for you to hold your money? So traditionally, silver and gold track with inflation, and so it's kind of more of a store of value than it is an actual investment. But if what we're seeing is true about how silver is about to break out, silver could actually be classified as an investment. In fact, gold and silver were just given a tier 1 rating by banks throughout as an investment, as an asset class. They were given a tier 1 rating. So that means a lot more banks are going to be bringing on gold and silver as well. Countries are buying gold and silver as we see different countries that are growing and ebbing and flowing here with different economies. We're seeing a big uptick in desire for gold and silver as a backing for currencies and economies. Leave that aside. The demand for silver with electric vehicles, batteries, cell phones, supercomputers, AI, the demand for silver is going to go through the roof because it's such a powerful metal for all of those high performance technologies. So let me share with you my allocations for precious metals as we close here, and so that you can see what I'm doing with my money and my personal portfolio. Okay, so this is my personal portfolio, my liquid asset distribution right now in liquid cash. Of my total net worth, which is a 6-figure number, Of my total net worth, I have 11% in liquid cash, bank accounts, savings accounts, emergency funds, sinking funds, etc. I have 25, almost 26, just 25, just over 25% in stocks in the market, basically. I have 35% in cash reserves. So actually my liquid cash is more like my bank accounts, checking, like stuff that's really like transactionable stuff. And then cash reserves is where I have my emergency funds, my sinking funds, my 3 to 6 months of cash, my et cetera, and then all my sinking funds for things that I'm saving up for. And then my precious metals is actually more than my stocks. And that's genuinely, honestly, that's because of the growth that we've seen in the last few months. My precious metals is traditionally 20% or less. But based on the numbers I'm seeing right now, I definitely need to put more money into the market. But why? If silver and gold is going well, I might as well continue to put money over there. What is your asset allocation? How much do you have of your portfolio in precious metals? Is it 0? Is it 100%? Is it 20%? What percentage do you have in precious metals right now? Financial professionals around the world and all over the globe have recommended between 10 and 20% of their total net worth as a percentage of their total net worth having assets of precious metals, gold and silver, etc. There's other precious metals, but the most popular ones are gold and silver. I personally have a friend that's 100% invested in gold and silver. His whole net worth is liquid net worth is in gold and silver. So if you're excited about this video and you want to get into gold and silver, where should you go to buy it? Now, first things I want to warn you against is do not buy it on Craigslist, do not buy on Facebook Marketplace, and do not buy on eBay. You're highly likely going to get scammed if you do. Go to a reputable company. Go to one of these websites where there's a reputable bullion company. They're silver gold traders. There are several of them that are really good. In fact, I'll put a link in the description below for one of my favorite guys that I work with. He's a trader. He does gold and silver, and he's got a great pricing actually as well, and he ships pretty quickly. And so I'll put a link in the description below for that. Also, one of the things you got to remember is to have an exit strategy, because right now, as of right now, you can't walk into the grocery store with a silver coin and buy a loaf of bread. However, if you have a coin shop or a pawn shop or some other location where you know you can take those coins and exchange them for US dollars or fiat currency, then you can take that currency and go buy things. But if you're going to keep thousands of dollars in a bank account earning basically nothing in the savings account, you might as well have it in silver and gold so that it at least has a chance to track with inflation. And if we're seeing the numbers here, if this plays out like I think it's going to play out, you're actually going to see this as an investment opportunity, and you're going to actually see some really powerful growth in your portfolio. To wrap it all up, silver's been around for thousands of years. The demand is huge and it's only going to get bigger. Right now, the ratio to gold to silver is really low, and you got to imagine that as this demand increases, that ratio is going to go much higher, and we're going to see silver hit the moon. Definitely, if you're going to buy it from reputable companies. And also, if you're going to sell it later to get fiat currency back, you're going to need to have a relationship already with a coin shop or with a pawn shop to be able to get that fiat currency, get that exchange rates going. So I hope that you learned a lot about precious metals. I love precious metals. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, put a comment below, hit the like and subscribe on your way down, and make sure that you do everything you can to turn your income into wealth and build a massive bank account. We'll see you on the next video.